Could it really all come down to a blue dot in a sea of red? That's what Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District has become known as, and it's now a critical path to both 270 electoral college votes in the White House and also potentially control of Congress. A lot is riding on this reliably Republican state and its blue dot. Here to discuss is Democratic State Senator and Congressional candidate Tony Vargas from Nebraska's 2nd District. First, Tony, thank you so much for being with us. I want to outline your race for our viewers because you are in a rematch with Republican Congressman Don Bacon, who we had on the show last week. This is a district in the Omaha area, one of the most competitive in the country, one that Joe Biden flipped back in 2020, but then it went on to re-elect your Republican opponent. I wonder what is different about this cycle and especially how turnout in a presidential election might impact your race.
Well, thank you, Boris. Well, there's a couple of things that are, I think, really important about Nebraska's 2nd District. The first is this is an independent place. This is where Trump won in 2016. This is where Biden won in 2020. And it's also where the place where we have been knocking on doors since pretty much day one of this cycle. We have knocked on 15 times more doors than 2 years ago. And also voters have seen what a Republican Congress has done when they're in leadership, which is one of the most ineffective Congresses in any of our lifetimes. And so they're looking for new leadership. This is Republicans and Democrats and independents alike that are coming across the aisle to support our campaign and make history tomorrow for Nebraska's 2nd District.
So do you think Vice President Harris is going to run up the numbers enough that it'll change the dynamic in your race?
Well, I think there's two things that have been happening since day one of this election. The first is there are groups of voters that we have been talking about that have been excited for change for this district in Nebraska's 2nd. There are people from all different walks of life that are coming out of the woodworks. And also that Harris and Walz have been inspiring and igniting different groups of people to also get excited about not only winning this electoral vote, but winning back the House. This is about whether or not we can actually govern, whether or not we can pass budgets. But this Congress has shown that they are unable to govern on their own. And so we need to make sure that we're winning back the House. We're seeing the motivation with Harris and Walz, and we're seeing the motivation with our campaign as well.
I want to ask you about something Congressman Bacon said last week. He argued that you have launched dishonest attacks on him regarding abortion, obviously an important issue. He expressed support for your state's current law. It's a 12-week ban with some exceptions. Do you not believe that he's being honest?
You know, I think what is important are the facts. And I think Congressman Bacon would love for Nebraska voters to forget that he was an original co-sponsor of the Life at Conception Act. And he didn't just co-sponsor it once, he co-sponsored it 3 separate times. This is a full abortion ban in the Constitution with no exceptions for the life of the mother or rape or incest. It has no carve-outs for IVF. And he's realizing that this is out of step with Nebraskans. It doesn't matter if you're Republican, Democrat, or independent. Nebraskans support women's reproductive freedoms. And he's realizing that this is unpopular. Now he's trying to distance himself because it's politically convenient. This is not the kind of congressperson that we need representing this district. I want to make sure that we protect reproductive freedom and rights, but I also want to focus on the real issues facing Nebraskans: cost of living, addressing inflation, creating jobs, and protecting these freedoms for women in Nebraska's 2nd District. So unfortunately, Congressman Bacon's out of step with them. He's afraid, and it's important that people know what his real record is and how extreme he is on reproductive freedom and rights for women.
He would point out that he supported that bill more as a statement of principle, a messaging bill, and that it effectively did not take any action against abortion. It didn't mention abortion, and the last time it came up, when the language changed, he did not support it. I do want to ask you about immigration, because that's another key issue in this election. Your website argues that both parties have failed the country on immigration. I wonder, this is something that Republicans have frequently argued, and I'm curious to get your response. Do you believe the Biden administration's more humanitarian approach, their easing of Trump-era restrictions, led to the record number of illegal border crossings that we saw in this administration?
You know, I think the responsibility we need to focus on right now is what Congress can and should do. It's the office that I'm running for, and what I've seen right now are Republicans and Democrats alike. We're not able to solve this issue because there's too much partisan gridlock. And instead of complaining about it, it's the reason why I'm running. I'm the proud son of immigrants. I believe that we need an earned pathway to citizenship. We need some real reforms. but also are seeing what is happening at our border. We need border security. We need to improve the funding and increase the capacity to address these issues at the border. It's why I publicly stated I would have supported that Senate-led, Republican-led border security package that Border Security and Patrol Association supported. I would have supported it because it was important to help address this issue. And I've come across the eye on a lot of things in the Nebraska legislature, and this is another example where we need leadership. Republicans right now didn't want to solve this problem because Donald Trump told them not to. And unfortunately, we need Democrats right now to solve this issue and come across the aisle and work on it for the American people.
Attorney Vargas, candidate for Nebraska's 2nd House District, we appreciate you joining us and sharing your perspective.
Thank you.
Of course.